Hello, snowboarders of the internet. I'm your host, Avran LeFeber, and this is Top 5s, the only weekly Top 5 show in snowboarding you tune into to find out which boards still have good old-fashioned traditional camber. That's right, you're old school, you want traditional camber, you want something that's either a twin or a directional twin, this is the list for you. So for this week's episode, we're going to be talking about the top 5 traditional cambered twins and directional twins of 24-25. Number 5, you like GG Ruff? You want to ride like him, or at least think you do? Then you need to look at the SL ATV. From contact point to contact point, you have full camber on this directional twin. You also get some 3D shaping out in the nose, and so it's kind of like a diamond, and it funnels that snow out to the side. This is really going to help you when you're riding powder. The other thing is, this has a beefier core to it. This is a little bit thicker, a little more girthy, takes a little bit more to get it to break in. You're really gonna be driving this thing a little bit harder than you thought. So if you miss boards like that were camber and they kind of fought you, like they did in the late 90s and the early 2000s, then you need to be checking this out. Number 4, the Jones Aviator. Once again, camber from contact point to contact point. Got a little bit of a setback in there. Going to be a little bit more damp in the nose, but give you a ton of power underneath your feet. This is going to help you spring off of a side hit, launch off a roller, or, drive hard into your edge and then spray a family of fat skiers that for some reason were standing around clueless right at an intersection in the middle of the run. Yeah, screw those people. Spray them hard. Camber really gets it in there on them. This is a board that you can charge with when you absolutely need to, or you can be slightly laid back. But just remember, in the back of your mind, it's got camber. So you could hook an edge and scorpion and die. Don't die. Don't scorpion and die. You know who you are. Number 3, the K2 Hypnotist. Do you like to pop to the moon? Do you like twins that let you pop to the moon? Then this is the board you need to be looking at. It's got a ton of rebound and snap from that camber. You also have that hybrid taper out in the tip and the tail. That helps the contact points dig in and carve a little bit more aggressively. This is a board that you can just hit the big line and send it with and not have to worry about it. For all you guys that just love a good cambered, full, traditional cambered twin, this is a deck to definitely be looking at. No little rocker in the tip and tail, just camber. Good old-fashioned camber. So we're about halfway through this video, I think. I don't know where I'm getting edited into. I can't tell these things in the future. I don't do the editing anymore. But you know what you need to do? Give this video a thumbs up. And while you're down there, remember to subscribe, click it, it's right over here, and click the bell so you get those notifications. You want those turned on so you know when we're dropping more programming for you, because we got so much content coming out. Number 2, the public disorder. You just want a good old-fashioned snowboard that's twin? Here you go. You can press and play on the tips. You can load it up and pop over a rail, onto a rail, or off a jump with it with ease. The side cut just makes it feel like a board you've been on for 100 days. For all you old school guys that are just like, I just want a cambered twin. Cruising my 300 vertical foot hill. This is all I need. Sometimes I'm with the kids, sometimes I'm with the boys. Here you go. This is what you need to be looking at. Honorable mentions, all great options, but just barely didn't crack the top 5 of this list. The Rossignol Retox, literally the only board that Rossignol makes with full camber anymore. TC got on it, I've ridden it. It's just that quintessential twin board with camber that's easy to play around with and still has good snap. Meat and potatoes, basically. The Yes Basic Uninc. You get a little bit of edge tech on this thing, which is nice, but once again, full camber. Just gonna spring off of things. Very throwback with how it rides. And finally, we have the Nidecker Sensor Pro. They split up the sensor into 3 boards. The Pro is the full cambered version. This thing was a blast to ride. Just really responsive, felt consistent, had good edge hold, really good spring. You could take it from the peak to the park to the groomers. You didn't have to worry about it. It wasn't just pigeonholed in there. Not the stiffest thing out there, but a little bit on the stiffer side. Like I said, these were all great options. They just barely didn't crack the top 5 of this list. Like what we're doing over here? Want to support us further? Swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. And the #1 best cambered twin directional twin for 2025 is the Libtech Rad Ripper. Holy crap, camber and a Libtech. I didn't think I'd see this come back in my lifetime, but it did. And it's good. This board is so good. It's stable on edge, it's stable when you flat base, but still lively in the tips for playing around. Ton of camber, a lot of spring in this. It was developed with Tubbs, who works at Wave Rave in Mammoth, and I can see why. This thing's a jump board. It's gonna be good for that heavy, wet snow. They knocked it out the park. I didn't want to get off this thing. It was just such a good twin. I seriously was having throwback vibes to the late 90s, and I was like, God damn, I really want to just blast a half pipe as hard as I can and see how high I can go. But I'm old and geriatric, and if I did that, I'd probably turn to dust when I impacted because, you know, I'm old and geriatric and I know my limitations. Do you? But if you're looking for just that old school twin cambered board that's damp, lively, responsive, and feels like a board that you've been riding for 200 days, this is it. This has been our best top 5 cambered twins and directional twin snowboards for 2025. If you're old school and this is what you're looking for, awesome. If you're looking for something that doesn't have this, we've got a ton of other top 5s that'll cover you, so go watch one of those.